What's going on, everybody? I'm Tank, and this is another episode of Roadie Reactions.
Get with this.
Welcome back, and Guten Tag to all of the Germans who are going to be inevitably rating the comment section of this video. I'm excited today, man, because this is going to be a 2-for-1 for me. A lot of people lately have been telling me to check out this German folk metal band that I'm not familiar with, but considering I love bands like Helveti, Korpiklani, Fintroll, I figured I'd probably like them too. And the other day when I was talking to my buddy Sushi, who most of you know from Ghost Kid and because he was in Eskimo Callboy, I was asking him about this band, and he was like, "Oh dude, you're talking about Saltatio Mortis." And he's like, "They're great. They're folk metal. They do a lot of festivals like Wacken. Right up your alley. You'd probably really enjoy it." And then I remembered a lot of people were asking me to check out this new remix of Hypa Hypa by Eskimo Callboy. So when I pull it up, I see that Saltatio Mortis is the guest band on this. So I'm going to kill two birds with one stone today. I'm going to hear something I'm familiar with while hearing something brand new that I've never heard. And honestly, I feel like I need to do this because when I first started this reaction channel, Hypa Hypa was one of the first reactions I did, and it was my first exposure to Eskimo Callboy. And back then, I think I only had like 50 subscribers. Things have changed a lot since then. And I feel like I owe it to Eskimo Callboy to check this out, because I'd totally be lying to you if I said that these guys and me reacting to their music wasn't big exposure for my channel and wasn't the reason that a lot of Germans jumped on here when they did. I owe it to that Hypa Hypa video a lot for my channel blowing up in the early days that it did. So let's continue on with more Hypa Hypa. I will link this original video in the description below. Today, I'm once again listening to Eskimo Callboy and hearing Saltatio Mortis for the very first time doing Hypa Hypa. Let's go! Get the f out of here. We got to start over. Okay. If you would have told me there was going to be a folk metal version of Hypa Hypa, I would say no way. I would not think it's going to work. I'm excited, dude. I'm giddy. I love that folk sound. I'm going to f love this, dude. Let's go.
Turn the lights on. You're alone on the dance floor, baby. Turn the light.
Alright, before this chorus, man, I am so f***ing excited. There's so much cool shit going on here, man. So right away, with the folk sound, I heard the bagpipes. I see the bagpipes. I saw a hurdy-gurdy back there. I saw an Irish bouzouki back there. And then we've got normal instruments. I see guitar, bass, drums. I'm getting already that this is more of a cover. I thought this was going to be like a remix of the original Hypa Hypa. I didn't think this was an actual cover by Saltatio Mortis, but it is. This is cool. This is a quick video, so I want to just get some stuff out of the way gear-wise because it's really interesting. So let's start on the bagpipes. I'm not really good with specific types of bagpipes, but what I will say is that bagpipes are a kind of instrument. A lot of people mistakenly think that the bagpipe is one specific instrument. When we hear bagpipe, we think of the Scottish Highland bagpipe because it's the most popular one. But a bagpipe is a specific it's a family of instruments. There are many, many, many different kinds of bagpipes, which is super cool. And then we've got a fucking hurdy-gurdy back there, man. Hurdy-gurdies are another cool instrument, man. I'm not super familiar with them, but I do know how they work. A hurdy-gurdy is like a combination of a violin and an accordion, pretty much. So the wheel that cranks, when they crank it, it turns a wheel inside that's got rosin on the wheel, and it rubs against the strings that are inside of the instrument. And then they can usually use the keyboard on there that hits little mallets that bend the strings to make different pitches of the notes. And then most hurdy-gurdies are also acoustic, so they've got sound holes in them and stuff like that. Super rad. I absolutely love it. And then we've got an Irish bouzouki back there, which is in the same family as mandolas and mandolins. I want to spend some time talking about the other gear too, because I know more about that stuff. So let's keep going here and we'll get into that. This is f***ing awesome.
Turn the lights on. You're alone on the dance floor, baby. Turn the light. Hypa, hypa, you're pretty and I like ya. Move your body, girl, all night long. Hypa, hypa, you're pretty and I like ya. You're gonna be my girl all night long. Hypa, hypa. Hypa, hypa. And I can't look away, I'm addicted to your smile. Dance for me, never stop, girl. You are my drug, you make my dreams come true. I would give my life for a pretty girl like you. And let me see you shake your hands. I want the shoes on your legs. I wanna know that it's true, that you're dancing for me and I'm living for you.
Before we get into that, oh man, this is my favorite thing ever right now. I never thought that an Eskimo Callboy video would have me in tears, but for those of you that follow this channel, you know, man, something about folk sounds, man, it hits me in my roots. It makes me feel like I'm at home. I love anything that's got folk influence to it. So with the normal instruments that we going on, the bass player looks like he's playing a Ernie Ball Music Man Stingray instead of having the double humbucking pickup setup on it. It's only got the one single near the bridge. Love those basses. They sound fantastic. Guitar-wise, guitar player is playing a Fender Stratocaster. Now, I can't tell because all Stratocasters basically look exactly the same. I don't know specifically what type of model it is. It could be a player, it could be a professional, it could be an American Ultra, it could be an older model, I'm not sure. But if I had to guess, I would say it's a professional or an Ultra, because those are kind of different levels of the Fenders. The player is the more cheaper, affordable one. The professional is in the middle. The American Ultras are all the way at the top. But I do notice on that Strat, he's got the HSS setup. And what I mean by that is H stands for humbucker. S stands for single coil. So if you look at the guitar, you see the humbucker near the bridge, single coil in the middle, the single coil at the neck. And those kind of pickups are really interesting, man, because the single coils are basically the originals. But the problem with single coil pickups is that they pick up a lot of noise. They have like a lot of hum to them. And because a lot of metal and rock bands use distortions and overdrives and stuff, when you turn those on, when you're using those effects, it gets a lot more noise and a lot more hum into your system. So the humbucker was basically invented. It's a double coil. It was invented literally to buck the hum of some of those single coils. So you see a lot of rock and metal artists using the humbucker setup because it eliminates some of the noise. And then the guitar player is using a diesel amp in the background. I believe that's an Einstein, if I'm not mistaken. Diesel, in my opinion, very underrated company. German amp company that started in the early 90s. And if I'm not mistaken, it's like really small. It's like 4 people that hand build everything. They're not a huge setup, but they make fantastic sounding amps. And then drum-wise, it's no surprise to me that I see Meinl cymbals on the drum kit because that's a German company, but I haven't really seen what kind of kit that is. I'm not 100% positive. I'll try and look it up for the editing. Let's continue.
my girl all night long. Hypa, hypa, you're pretty and I like ya. Move your body, girl, all night long. Hypa, hypa, you're pretty and I like ya. You gonna be my girl all night long. Hypa, hypa. Hypa, hypa.
It just hit me before they went into that chorus in the bridge that they were writing doop 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 on the fucking paper. If any of the Eskimo Callboy guys ever see this, I'm sorry for what I'm about to say. I think I like this version better than the original, man. Dude, that was incredible. Let's go talk more about it. That is my favorite thing on the internet right now. That is the fucking internet right now, as far as I'm concerned, man. Absolutely enjoyed the shit out of that, man. That was not what I was expecting. I honestly, like I said, I thought we were getting a remix. I thought we were getting a remix that was just maybe gonna have some of the Saltatio Mortis guys on it. No idea that this was gonna be a cover. And based on how they just covered that, I want to hear more of that band, so we're probably going to have some reactions of them on here as well, because that was phenomenal, man. And as far as I know, I think Eskimo Callboy is doing an EP of remixes of Hypa Hypa, or covers, rather. I'm really interested in hearing that now, because based off of that, if they get some other bands to do stuff like that, this is going to be highly entertaining and incredible, and I'm looking forward to it. Man, thank you guys for bringing this up to me and telling me to do it. I'm glad I did, honestly. This was a blast. I don't know what else to say other than that was fun as hell, and I loved it. So thank you guys once again, and if this is your first time here, feel free to click subscribe. I release new videos all the time, so if you turn your notifications on, you'll get alerted the second new stuff comes out. If you liked this video, I would greatly appreciate the like, but if you disliked it, no big deal, man. Thank you very much for watching this time. You are free to dislike it. However, I don't know how anybody could dislike a video like that. I'll just assume it's me. I'm also on a ton of different social media. I have a Discord server I hang out on. I have a Twitch that I stream on from time to time. So if you're interested in any of that, I'll throw those links in the description below. My handle on everything social media related that I'm on is @TankTheTech. Thank you so much once again for watching. I will be back very soon with another episode of Roadie Reactions.